Thornton Township High School was like a divided community for us. Those who came from Harvey were the kings and queens of the social group. And all of us peons were from Tinley Park, Oak Forest, Frankfort, Dalton, South Holland, and some other places too, maybe Midlothian. We had ties with school, but I noticed even at the 50th reunion, we still were not the in group. And it's so sad, but it happens today just like it happened then. There's no change. Well, I finished 3 years at Thornton, and then my ma and dad sprang a surprise on me. We were moving to Clinton, Arkansas. Oh, how could they? I was devastated. All of my friends were here. Luckily, I wasn't with a special boyfriend. This was the worst news of my life. All my crying and yelling and slamming things around did not help. My dad stayed in Chicago to work to make the money, and Ma and Richard and I went to Clinton, Arkansas. Aunt Marie and Uncle Jim and their family had a farm a quarter of a mile from us on one side, and the Smiths were a quarter of a mile for us on the other side. They were just neighbors, but they were, godsends to us because they were old farmers. They knew everything. These were our close friends and relatives. We lived on Route 16 west of Clinton, and we were on Evans Mountain, and our peak was Gobbler's Knob. The view of the mountains around us was spectacular, but at that time I could care less for mountain views. I wanted to see the roller skating rink. We had 67 acres of land. A lot of it was flat, and then it slid down the mountainside. We had a nice clean house with 3 bedrooms, but the middle bedroom had access to each of the other bedrooms. So if you were sleeping in the middle bedroom, you would have to walk through sleeping peoples to go outside and down the path to the outside 2-seater toilet. Now, keep your eyes open for copperheads. I have a picture of me and my Aunt Marie's daughter, Phyllis. Now, that was not, Aunt Vi's daughter, Phyllis, was the one that passed on, so Aunt Marie named her daughter Phyllis also. I never thought of that before. And we were both sitting on the 2-seater. Across the street from our house, we had a big blue muscadine grapevine. Oh, God, they were so good. You sucked the insides and spit out the outsides. We had 2 mules, Kit and John, 2 cows and a calf. Richard called her Lady, and he took care of her, and he rode her. And the next year, Dad sold the calf. Oh, God, Richard cried and cried. Oh, my word, this was his first introduction to life on a farm. We had 100 leghorn chickens, 2 Pole and China pigs, and little piglets. And Dad would render the lard from the old pigs. Ma would make lye stove in a big black pot. I used to help wash clothes in that big iron pot over a fire in the yard. We had a storm cellar where Ma had all her canned vegetables and fruits, and we kept milk and butter in there where it was cool. And we had the salted down slabs of bacon and hams on the porch during the winter. And we used to candle our eggs before we sold them. We used a flashlight under a tube. We had an opening between the 2 bedrooms. It was an area where there was used to be a stove, and then the stovepipe went up. So we made sure that this was filled with contraband bags of sugar for canning. And if we saw a stranger, we would think it was the Federals coming to get us for hoarding sugar. But you know, my ma had to do that. Well, how could we live through the winter if she didn't can everything in sight? We had to do that. It was against the law, but I'm sorry. You did a lot of things then that was against the law.